We're interviewing all the serial killers now in custody for a psychobehavioral profile. Could be of real help in unsolved cases. You spook easily, Starling?
Not yet, sir.
I want you to go after him again today in the asylum.
And who's the subject?
The psychiatrist Hannibal Lecter.
Cannibal the cannibal.
The Silence of the Lambs Brazil. The Silence of the Innocents is a 1991 American film of the suspense genre, drama e terror, directed by Jonathan Demme, starring Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Ted Levine, E. Scott Glenn. Written in detail, based on the book of the same name, published in 1988 by Thomas Harris. The film is the second to feature Dr. Henry, a brilliant psychiatrist and serial cannibal killer, preceded by 1986's Hunters and Killers, directed by Michael Mann. No Clarice-style films. One young FBI trainee asks the prisoner for help, Dr. Lecter, to arrest another serial killer, known only as Buffalo Bill.
Busy hunting that new one, Buffalo Bill. What a naughty boy he is. Do you know why he's called Buffalo Bill?
This one likes to skin his humps. Most serial killers keep some sort of trophies from their victims.
I didn't.
No, you ate yours.
The Silence of the Lambs was released on 14 February 1991 in the United States and raised more than $130 million during its run in the country. All over the world, your box office reached $272,742,922 on a budget of $19 million, becoming the fifth highest grossing film of 1991. All over the world. The film premiered on 41st Berlin International Film Festival, where he competed for the Golden Bear, while Demme received the Silver Bear for Best Director. Critically acclaimed, after release, became only the third film, the other two being It Happened That Night and One Flees the Nest, in the history of cinema to be awarded Oscar awards in the 5 main categories: Best Movie, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Remains then as latest and last film to win such categories. Was also the first movie widely considered to be a horror film to win the Oscar for Best Film, and the third of its kind to be nominated after The Exorcist, 1973, and Shark 1975. The film is considered culturally, historically, and aesthetically important by the Library of Congress and was chosen to be preserved in the National Film Records in 2011. A sequel titled Hannibal was released in 2001, with Hopkins reprising his role, followed by two preludes, Red Dragon, 2002, and Hannibal, The Origin of Evil from 2007. Synopsis. Claire Style is a young FBI agent, initially chosen without knowing by your supervisor, Jack Trafford, to interview a terrible, intelligent, violent criminal, a notorious cannibal, with the intention of obtaining information that leads to the capture of a serial killer that is loose, killing women. As a connecting element between the crime, just one unusual clue: cocoons of one tropical moth were found in the victims' throats. Curiosities. Jodie Foster was interested in playing the role of Clarice B immediately after reading the novel. However, despite Foster having just won an Oscar for his performance in the film Deadposit 1988, Demme was not convinced that she was the right person for the role, having just directed Married to the Mob 1988. The first Damme's casting for the role of Starlin, it was Michelle Pfeiffer, who refused, saying later, "It was a difficult decision, but I got nervous about the subject." Still not convinced, he went to Meg Ryan, who also rejected it for its terrible themes, and then Laura Dean, of whom the studio was skeptical because it is not a profitable option. As a result, Foster received the role due to your passion for the character. For the role of Dr. Henry Balletta, Demme approached Schenkenier. After the actor refused, Anthony Hopkins was offered the role based on your performance in The Elephant Man 1980. Other actors considered for the role include Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Justin Hoffman, Derek Jacob, and Daniel Day-Lewis. The mask Hopkins wore became a symbol. Iconic movie was created by Ed Cubble in front of the new Jesse, who had made several masks for NHL athletes. Gene Hackman was originally cast to play Jack Crawford, the agent in charge of the science unit, behavioral from the FBI in Quantum, Virginia, but he found the script too violent. Scott Glenn was then cast in the role. To prepare for the role, Glenn met with Joan and Douglas. Douglas took a tour of the English Quantum facilities and also played him an audio tape containing several recordings that the serial killer Lawrence Winters had done to rape and torture a 16-year-old girl. According to Douglas, Glenn cried while trying out the recordings and even changed his liberal stance on the death penalty. Filming the main footage of The Silence of the Lambs started in November 15, 1989 and was completed on March 1, 1990. In what was a rare act of cooperation at the time, the FBI allowed that the scenes were filmed at the FBI Academy in Quantum. Some members of the FBI team even acted in small roles. Criticism, reception, and repercussion. The film was widely acclaimed upon its release. The main actors, Jude Foster, Antonio Hopkins, and Ted were equally quite praised for their performances, being that the role of the cannibal psychiatrist, played by Hopkins, received the title of the greatest villain in history, while that of the young FBI agent, Clarice Style, played by Foster, ranks 6th on the list of greatest heroes by American Film Institute. The film currently occupies the 74th position on the list of the 100 best films of all time. The Rotten Tomatoes website reports that 95% of 84 critics of cinema gave the film a positive review, with an average score of 8 points, 7 of 10. The site even wrote, "The tense, intelligent thriller from director Jonah. I also swing between psychological study and total horror, benefiting from Hope's exceptional performances." 15 Foster, site Metacritic, awarded the film a score of 85 out of 100 due to the high quality of the performances from Dame's direction, as well as by other widely mentioned factors, like cinematography, the soundtrack, and the plot. The Silence of the Innocent is widely cited as being of the best movies ever. The success of the film gave rise to the rest, books written by Thomas Harris, as well as the films in the Henry Ball franchise, a television series. In 1998, the movie was listed as one of the 100 greatest films 100 years by the American Film Institute. In 2006, No Kayasha Orders, the original poster for The Silence of the Lambs, was nominated for Best Movie Poster of the last 35 years. I Escaped, The Silence to Innocence was in 7th position on the list of the 100 scariest moments of Bravo Channel Cinema for the scene of the escape of Lequita. The American Film Institute appointed Henry Ball, played by Hopkins, the #1 villain of all time, and Clarice Style, played by Foster, as the 6th greatest hero cinematic of all time. In 2011, ABC aired a primetime special, Best in Movies, the Best Films of Our Time, which featured the best films chosen by fans based on the results of a survey conducted by ABC and People magazine. The Silence of the Innocents was selected as Best Thriller, and Dr. Hannibal Lecter was selected as the 4th greatest character cinema. Despite us here at the Synopsis channel not enjoying the horror genre or being a fan of this franchise, there is no way not to mention movie that was a success, winner of 5 Oscars, and is considered a classic of the 90s. The channel's rating will be 7. Well, that's it, guys. Until the next video.